Isang magandang Sabado po ng umaga sa ating lahat at ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa ating Panginoon at nagising po tayo muli sa isang umagang puno ng pag-asa. At dalangin ko po na sa umagang ito ay tayong lahat ay nasa malusog na pangangatawan at pag-iisip. Welcome po sa 11:43 DZMR para sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Ako po muli si Dr. Jennifer Gatiwan C., your program host at kasama po ng Philippine Pediatric Society Northeastern Luzon Chapter at ng Santiago City Medical Society. Magsama-sama po tayong pag-usapan ang isang napapanahong usapin. At sa araw na ito ay napaunlakan po tayo ng isang napakagandang panauhin upang talakayin ng isa sa mga issues patungkol po sa kabataan. So, real talk po tayo sa araw na ito at hindi ko na po patatagalin at ipakilala po natin ang ating panauhin sa araw na to. So, ang ating guest resource person is a pediatrician entrepreneur na nagmula pa po sa Tacloban City. She finished her medical degree in Remedios Trinidad Romualdez Medical Foundation and had her pediatric residency in Divine Word Hospital in Tacloban City. A fellow of the Philippine Pediatric Society and former vice president from 2020 to 2024 of the Philippine Pediatric Society Eastern Visayas chapter. She is a very accomplished pediatrician because at this time she's the national chairman of advocacy against teenage pregnancy of the Philippine Pediatric Society and currently undertaking a lifestyle medicine competency course at the Philippine College of Lifestyle Medicine. Siya din po ay Vice President of Center for Change Foundation. This is Home for the Homeless and life coach since 2012 for Lampstands, a couples ministry and parenting ministry of Tacloban Bible Community. A wife to her husband and business partner to her husband Charles Uy, and they were given 4 talented kids, 4 boys and a girl. A true champion for families and youth. And with us ngayon sa araw na to talk about Oplan Real Talk, #Choose to Wait. Let us welcome Dr. Mary Grace Tan Uy. Dr. Welcome po sa 11:43 DZMR. Pwede pong bumati tayo muna.
So, maraming salamat po, Dr. Jenny, no, for that very kind introduction. Ang haba po.
Parang napaka-busy. Napaka-bless. Nabless ang mga taga-Tacloban sa inyo. At hindi lang doon, buong Pilipinas. So, ayan, let's dive in, no, with regards this Oplan Real Talk, #Choose to Wait. So, Doktor, ano po ito?
Yes, okay. Ang Oplan Real Talk po, Choose to Wait, is actually a program of the Philippine Medical Association. No? Ito po ay isang programa na tatakbo po sa buong bansa. Na ito po ay, this will cut across all specialties. Okay po? Whether you're a pediatrician, you're a surgeon, you're an OB-GYN, lahat po, basta ikaw ay lisensyadong doktor dito sa Pilipinas at ikaw po ay kabahagi ng Philippine Medical Association, then you can take part po in this advocacy. No? So ito po ay isang advokasya na naglalayon po na ipaglaban, no? At isulong yung kabutihan po, no? Kapakanan ng kabataan, especially po in the area of preventing teenage pregnancy. No? But Dr. Jen, no, sa usapin pong teenage pregnancy, napakarami pong factors na naglalaro kung bakit po ang ating kabataan sa ngayon ay maari pong maging biktima or maari pong maka-experience nitong teenage pregnancy na ito. So kaya po, ang Oplan Real Talk po ay isang advokasya ng Philippine Medical Association na naglalayon po, no, na maisali sa picture, okay, na hindi lamang po mga bata, mga young people, teenagers, adolescents ang ating maturuan, kundi kasama po ang kanilang mga magulang at ang kanilang buong pamilya. Kagaya po ng palagi kong sinasabi during activities, sabi ko, gusto ko pong nandoon yung mga magulang para po napapakinggan nila kung ano po yung mga tinuturo at ituturo natin doon sa mga bata. Para kung sakali pong mali, ano, yung ating pong naituro, pag uwi po nila ng bahay, the parents can just simply tell their children, oh anak, kalimutan mo yon, mali yon. Pero kung tama naman po, no, we are encouraging our parents to just simply reinforce it, no? Reinforce what the things that they have heard during the entire seminar, during the entire workshop, para po mas lubusang maunawaan at maintindihan ng ating mga kabataan. No? Okay.
So this Oplan Real Talk, actually it's a family activity, no? Na spearheaded by the Philippine Medical Association. So talagang doktor na talaga ang nagpapa-push netong programang ito. So doktor, na sabi natin, no, yung nasabi natin in particularly teenage pregnancy. So ano po ba ang ah, totoong sitwasyon ng mga kabataang Pilipino as a country? Are we really in this, marami ba tayong mga kabataan na talagang teenage pregnancy ang isa sa mga main issues ng problema sa kabataan? Yes.
Dr. Jen, together with our viewers, no, and our audience for today, nakakabahala po yung mga data na nakikita, napapanood natin at napapakinggan natin. In fact po, 2019, it was declared, no, that the teenage pregnancy problem in the Philippines has been considered, no, and is still considered a national social emergency, no? Bilang po mga doktor, if we hear the word emergency, we know po this is something na kailangan po nating aksyonan agad, no? Because every second na wala yung doktor sa tabi ng pasyente, at every second na hindi po nabibigyan ng tamang lunas yung pasyente, lumiliit po ng lumiliit yung kanyang chance na mabuhay. At lumiliit ng lumiliit yung chance na itong taong to ay mabuhay ng mabuti. I mean, quality of life. No? Hindi lang po buhay, but buhay na nakakapaglakad, nakakapagsalita, at may pakinabang pa rin siya sa society. No? So, this situation po has been called a national social emergency because araw-araw po, no, sa Pilipinas sa ngayon, meron po tayong 500 teenagers who are giving birth every day. At sinasabi ko po na yung number is not as simple as that. 500 pong nabuntis at nanganak, 500 pong nakabuntis, so that's a total of 1,000 people involved, 500 po na ipinanganak na sanggol, that's 1,500, and then 500 po na pamilya ng babaeng nabuntis, at 500 na pamilya ng lalaking nakabuntis. So, in total, we don't actually know, no, how many thousands of people are actually affected on a daily basis. Okay po, na ang buhay nila ay kailanman hindi na po magiging, it will never be the same again. Kasi kagaya nga po nung nasabi ni Dr. Perez, no, one of the officers po, one of the leaders in POPCOM, ito po yung statement na binitawan niya, a teenage mother will never be able to recover from teenage pregnancy in her entire life. No? So kaya po ang isang young girl, no, who would be pregnant as a teenager, kumbaga po sa karera, nag-go na lahat, tumakbo na lahat, siya po nahuhuli. No? So kawawa po. So kaya po, the Philippine Medical Association is offering this program as of the moment for all of us, no, sa buong bansa, para po turuan natin yung ating po mga kabataan, hindi lang po yung kababaihan, but including the young gentlemen, including the families, the parents of these young people, para sabay-sabay po natin ituro, no, yung moral values, sabay-sabay po natin ituro yung ways, no, on how we could prevent teenage pregnancy, because in the long run, or at the end of the day po, it is all about having and giving them a better future and a better fighting chance in life.
Yes. So, a better future, a better fighting chance in life. Pero kung ikaw nga ay bunabuntis, so you carry yourself an excess baggage na. At Nasabi nyo nga, hindi lang naman yung buntis ang affected. Even yung nakabuntis at yung ipapanganak na bata, and of course, those families involved. No? So, kasi nga, di ba, it takes a village to raise a child. So, talagang, this is really a national emergency. And since, nung pandemic ba, doktora, tumaas pa lalo. Is there statistics with that?
Actually po, they said that on 2020, bumaba siya ng kaunti.
Oh,
No? Pero after that, tumaas muli. No? Pero they were saying the Papua people actually didn't believe the data that came out.
yes.
Kasi
Oo.
sabi nila, mukhang false ano siya, no? Na
Yeah.
bumaba. Kasi po, even if the kids were at home, actually mas mas lalong tumaas. No? And
Oo.
ang nakakabahala po is dati, ang focus natin po is 15 to 19 years old lang. But
Yeah.
ngayon po, seeing cases of 10 to 14 years old, yan
Even,
po ang mas tumataas sa ngayon. And in fact, if we have been in the news po lately, we have heard of a 12-year-old no, who gave birth in Palawan.
oo nga eh. 12 years old. 'Di ba? Not even a teenager. So hindi na siya teenage pregnancy, preteen. Oh, no, this is really something to ano na dapat talagang pag-usapan. So, when we say this program of choose to wait, no? Meron ang Pilipinas, meron tayong reproductive health law, no? Yung tinatawag na Republic Act 103/54 or the Republic Health Act of 2012. So this law guarantees the access to reproductive health services and information, including modern contraceptions. Andun na yung mga maternal care and health education. So etong law na to, it has both a proponent o yung mga supporters and opponents. According to the supporters, ang hina-highlight nito is the potential to reduce maternal mortality, unintended pregnancies, and even unsafe abortions. So I was thinking actually, is there such a thing as safe abortion? So while opponents express concerns about its impact sa religious freedom, ito naman yung side ng mga nag-oppose. Abortion promotion, so yun nga, because of yung pwede ka palang mag-abort, no? Yung tinatawag nilang safe. And potential for early sexual activity, parang yung nangyari na nga, the 12 years old who gave birth. So my question is, this program of the Philippine Medical Association, yung po bang objectives niya, is this aligned with the objectives of the Philippine Reproductive Health Law? Na usually,
Um,
hot issue ngayon tayo.
so,
Mm, mm.
Dr. Jen, no? Basically po, ang RA 10354,
Yes.
uh, yun po, those are the things that you mentioned, no? Yung mga objectives po niya, universal access to reproductive health services, responsible parenthood, and all of this. I believe po, yung program natin yan sa PMA is actually, would actually complement this law. Pero ang magiging focus po natin is on the values education. Our focus will be on abstinence, and our focus will be on self-respect, on character building, no? On informed choices na nilatag natin lahat sa bata at sa mga magulang yung mga pwedeng mangyari kung sakaling pasukin nila itong bagay na ito sa ngayon, no? And then at the end of the day, they will choose, no? They will choose kung saan sila. Kasi we are introducing po two concepts, no? Actually in this program, meron po tayong tinatawag na risk reduction and risk elimination. So under the concept of risk reduction, dito po papasok yung paggamit ng mga contraceptives. Okay? When we say reduction, ibig sabihin po, binawasan lang natin yung kadilikaduhan na kasama na magiging kaakibat ng sexual act itself. Pero meron pa rin pong kadilikaduhan. Okay? Now, we are proposing for risk elimination. Now, we are saying po that we are proposing and advocating that reducing the risk is not enough. we
Mhm.
need to eliminate the risk.
Yes.
And how would we eliminate the risk? It's by abstaining from the sexual act itself. Kasi
Mhm.
po, wala naman talagang magbubuntis kung hindi ka po makikipag-sex, no? Hindi naman po magbubuntis ang isang babae kung titingnan mo lang siya.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying po is, we want to eliminate the risk by not engaging in premarital sex. We will be eliminating the risks of untimely pregnancies, and we will be eliminating the risk of sexually transmitted infections.
Yeah.
No? So kaya papasok rin po doon yung usapin about AIDS and HIV, which is tumataas po ng grabe ngayon sa
Yeah.
Pilipinas. No? So nandun po tayo, Dr. Jen. Yeah.
So the goal of this hashtag choose to wait is for the risk elimination. Yeah, which is the better option, the better concept between the two. No, kasi nga the sexual activity, you will not do it na, 'di ba? Yun. So, you said a while ago, this is a family activity wherein this concept of risk elimination is you teach them about values education, abstinence. Actually, di po ba sa school uh, program, meron na rin pong mga ganito ang DepEd. But how do you implement this program as a medical practitioner? How did this advocacy start? Ano pupunta po ba tayo like do we go sino yung mga target beneficiaries natin when we started this advocacy?
Actually po, Dr. Jen, no, lahat po ng kabataan target natin.
Yeah.
Okay? Uh, but when we started po the advocacy sometime in 2018, no, onwards, naging mas madali po siyang i-implement sa mga schools. So
Mm.
we went and approached po the school administration, yung mga high schools natin. No? Nakita po natin na mas magandang, mas open yung mga bata the younger they are, no? Around grade 7 to grade 9. No? Ito po, sa edad pong 12 to 14.
Mhm.
Ito po yung ages na sana hindi pa sila nakakatikim. Sana po hindi pa sila sexually active. No?
Yes.
So we want to teach them as early as this time these concepts, no? And then they make a decision together with their parents po na yes, tama nga yung narinig ko, no? And as early as this time, I'll make a promise to myself, to God, to my future, to my parents and family, to my future asawa, and to my future child that I will not engage in such an act because that's my way of showing love and honor to these people whom I am with as of the moment. Nauna na ako ng konti sa discussion po. But basically, yes, we want grade 7 to grade 9. But hindi po natin lilimitahan yung ating mga sarili on these grade levels. If we will get invitations for grades 11 and 12, why not, no?
Mhm.
Even 6th graders, pwede po, kung bukas po yung school, no, for us. We're willing to go there. And then, isa po pong advantage siguro na nakikita ko, Dr. Jen, when you mentioned na doktor na talaga ang nagpapalakad, no? Pag doktor ang nagsasalita, and the topic is scientific, no? Na ganito, na we are presenting scientific data to the children and to the parents. There's no denying, parang meron pong authority, no? That goes with it, na paniniwalaan nila, no?
Yes.
Kesa po sino-sino lang yung nakatayo sa harap, no? So may authority na kasama. And we know what we're saying. Parang ganon.
Yes. So, yeah, nung iba kasi 'di ba if they hear it from the doctors, it's like free consultation eh. Parang gano'n and back up by studies, so mas makikinig sila. Aside from hearing from authorities na mga teachers, this time it's the doctors who are going around the schools, no? So you have been doing this since 2018 and pre-pandemic. So and then during the lockdown, how did during the lockdown, doctor, did you continue with this program? na
Yes
ano?
po.
Yeah.
Innovate tayo, Dr. Jen, no?
Mm.
Before the lockdown, we were doing this purely face-to-face, no?
Mhm.
But during the lockdown, since alam po natin, hindi tayo makakalabas.
Mhm.
So, we made videos, no? We made videos, lectures, lecture videos of the module itself.
Mhm.
And then, ito na po yung mga pinapalabas
Mhm.
sa mga schools, no? So,
Okay.
nangyari po para siyang it's a mix of virtual setup and face-to-face. Kumbaga po, may video yung lecture, tapos meron pong actual din ng mga doktor na nandoon na pwede pong gumawa ng konting activity with the audience. No?
Yeah.
Parang ganun po.
So, doon sa nasabi natin kanina, it's a family activity. How did you facilitate this program? Is it together with the parents sabay, or like there will be facilitators for the parents and there will be facilitators for the students, the learners?
Normally po, Doc Jen, what we do is, sa umpisa po, I would conduct a parent orientation na
Mhm.
maikli lang po, like about 30 minutes. It's just para everybody will be on the same page,
Mhm.
maintindihan nila bakit sila inimbitahan, ano ang role nila, no, sa araw na yon. Basically, we just tell them, kagaya po nung sinabi ko kanina, number one, we want the parents to be there because we want them to listen and to hear uh, per se, no, what we are teaching the children.
Mhm.
Okay, para po they can actually support it or they can negate it. Huh? Then number two po, their presence during the activity is a loud ano po, no, expression of their love for their children. Na importante ang bata, importante ka bilang anak namin. Kaya nag-decide kaming umattend, no, to give
Mhm.
time sa
Yeah.
araw na to. And pangatlo po, we would encourage the parents that while the lectures are ongoing, sila po ay nananalangin. They're interested para po yung mga bagay na itinuturo at during that time, maging bukas po yung puso ng mga bata, maging bukas po yung isipan nila na that they may understand.
Yeah.
Because sabi ko nga po palagi, kahit po mag-tumbling yung speaker sa harap, kumain ng apoy, no? If it's not the Lord who will make these students, these kids, these adolescents understand, no,
Mhm.
yung meaning po at significance and implications of all these things that are being taught, sayang po yung oras natin. No, it's really the Lord, no, who will make these young people understand. So kaya po we are encouraging the parents to be there, that while they are listening or while they are there, hindi po nag-chismis, hindi nag-Facebook, pray para sa mga anak nila, no? Because ang adolescent years is a completely different battle,
Yeah.
no? Pa, nung baby, infancy, toddlers, preschool years, then school age, and then teenagers, biglang iba na naman ng battle, iba na naman ng ugali. So panibagong laban. So we want them to be there to be praying. Then may tatlo po tayong topics actually, no, na binibigay. The first topic that we teach is actually more on building the self-esteem of the children, of the adolescents. Knowing how special they are, knowing how unique they are, and knowing how loved they are.
Yeah.
No? And then ito po nila yung uniqueness nila, matuto nilang mahalin, love and like themselves.
Mhm.
No?
Yes.
Pangalawa po, we teach about love languages so that the relationship within the family could be improved. It could be better. Okay, and then po pangatlo, yung topic po natin is on the 5 people that the child, the adolescent can give their true love to. No?
Mhm.
Which actually po, una is yung sarili nila, matuto nilang mahalin at pahalagahan.
Mhm.
Pangalawa po is yung kanilang pamilya, yung kanilang mga magulang. Pangatlo po is yung kanilang magiging future na asawa. At pang-apat po is yung kanilang magiging future na mga anak.
Mhm.
At panglima, most important is God Himself. No? So when they take care of themselves, when they make choices in their lives, especially in the area of love and sex, isipin nila, will this choice show honor and love to those 5 people?
Yeah.
Kasi kung hindi, ibig sabihin, uh, may problema yung choice na ginawa.
Yes.
Opo.
Ayun. Very interesting discussion, no? Ang bilis ng oras, no? It's almost 30 minutes, pero di po tayo dito nagtatapos, Doktora, di po ba? So, pansamantala po nating pinuputol ang programang ito at sa pagbabalik po natin next week, makakasama pa din po natin si Dr. Grace Uy at may isa pa po tayong expert when it comes to this advocacy para po sa usaping Real Talk, #Choose to Wait. At kung kayo po ay may katanungan, ay inaanyayahan po namin kayo sa darating na seminar or workshop, ang Oplan Real Talk #Choose to Wait, seminar workshop on teenage pregnancy prevention sa dadating pong July 18. Yun. So sa susunod po na linggo, mas lalo po natin pag-uusapan etong face-to-face na workshop na magaganap po dito sa Isabela, sa Santiago City. So that's it po for today sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. So pansamantala po tayo muna nating pinuputol ang first part ng #Choose to Wait. At abangan nyo naman po muli ako sa susunod na linggo dito lamang po sa 11:43 DZMR. Nawa po sa sandaling panahon ay may naibigay po tayong linaw at mahalagang impormasyon tungkol sa ating paksa sa araw na to. So, Dr. Grace, maraming salamat po. Yes, so I'm gonna see you next week at dalangin ko po ay mamuhay tayong malusog sa ating katawan at sa ating kaisipan. So, abangan niyo po muli ako next week, same station, 11:43 DZMR.